Okay, so here we go. I'm going to test out my camp stove here, my 1-can alcohol burning stove, and what I'm going to try to do is see how long it takes to boil 2 cups of room temperature water in my EDC thermos. 4 tablespoons, which is 2 ounces of alcohol. Eventually this alcohol will be produced in a still. In the meantime, I have to use the good stuff. Go ahead and burn myself. No, just kidding. I'll go ahead and start that to see how long it takes the burners to kick off. Using this Stanley everyday carry thermos. That tightened down, and you can see works as a normal thermos, but the reason I bought it was to boil water. I'm actually drinking a warm beverage from that I used with the water from the previous video. There are videos out there on quick fire stoves. I have yet to see any of the actual instructions on how to build those. So this is of the traditional 2-wall type. Still no burners kicked off. Let's go ahead and get the water poured. And that has come about up to our 16 fluid ounce line, where it should be. Getting some burner action going. Let's hit the lights. Got almost a full ring of burners. Okay, at 2 minutes 28 seconds, go ahead and set the container. Hit start on the clock. Put on the lid. Now, I did try this before. I tried this one other time with 2 ounces of alcohol in my little stove here, and I used about an 8-inch diameter saucepan with 2 cups of room temperature tap water, and that took about 6 minutes to boil. The real question is how much quicker or how much slower is it going to take to boil 2 cups of water in this small diameter stainless steel container. My guess, my postulation, is that it's going to take more time because a greater amount of heat would be transferred through the bottom of the saucepan over that greater area, and then the hot air, then the non-reactant gases after the fire is done being fire would then whoosh up the outside diameter of that 8-inch container, continuing to dump heat into the container. Whereas here we have the reactant gases, the fire part of the fire, having a greater tendency to lick up the outside of the container. And this is radiating heat inward towards the water, but it's also radiating heat in that heating up the room theoretically just as much or to the same effect as it is heating up the water. So again, the theory is a larger diameter pan is going to boil water more efficiently than a smaller diameter thermos, and we'll see if that works out. 6 minutes on the 8-inch pan, and so far about 3 minutes on the small diameter thermos. Of course, it's not really a thermos, it's just a cup. It's just a single walled structure. Even the stainless is just relatively thin walled. It's not a very effective container for storing trying to keep things cool or trying to keep things warm. When I purchased it, it wasn't my intention to keep it as a thermos, but to have it as an emergency container for purifying or boiling water, or maybe even just making a cup of tea. I don't know if it's really worth it, given the cost of a bottle of 190 proof liquor. 2 ounces of that for a cup of tea, probably pretty high, dollar-wise, per cup. But I didn't buy the stuff for drinking. I bought it for burning or bartering. And right now it's serving the purpose of fueling my experiment. So we've got 4:37, 4:40 on the clock. Check. Yeah, we've got a simmering boil already going on, and I'm gonna leave the lid on there. I want this thing to boil water in under 6 minutes. And what I'm saying is, I want to be wrong about my initial guess. And yeah, I hear it. It's a going. Not really a roiling boil yet. 6 minutes on the saucepan, I had a good roiling boil. 5 minutes 30 seconds was the mark when we started the roiling boil. Witness the roiling boil. That started at 5 minutes 30 seconds, which is a little bit better than the 8-inch saucepan, which is impressive to me. Why? Well, it could have less to do with the shape of the container as the surface area of the water, in that the steam bubbles are more concentrated in an area and have less surface area through which to escape. And I think that contributed significantly to the speed, and seems to be boiling a lot more vigorously than I got from the saucepan. 2 ounces of alcohol, burned for about 11 minutes. I'm getting some nice heat treating of the stainless steel down here, although stainless doesn't heat treat, so discoloration. Starting to look a little bit like exhaust pipes on a motorcycle. We're about 8.5 minutes right now, still going strong on 2 ounces of alcohol. Assuming that your alcohol is produced in a still, you could build a relatively small tabletop still that could produce 20 to 30 ounces a day relatively easily. I've seen examples of that done, depending on your I guess your mash or type of material that you're using to generate the alcohol. I guess you have to distill it a few times if you started with something like apples versus pure sugar. But we're going good. 9 minutes 20 seconds. Still plenty of flame. If there was anything in that water when we started, there ain't now. That is well pasteurized. These little stoves are great, but I don't think they replace a little fold-away camp stove where you can use wood as a fuel. After all, wood is a hell of a lot easier to come by than alcohol. And we're getting some puffing here. 11 minutes 5. That's it. So, there we go. 2 ounces of fuel is good for about 11 minutes of fire. Alright, well no, that was 11 minutes of actual burner time. Very good then. Hope this was informative to you. It certainly was to me. I certainly appreciate my in my $5 or $7 thermos. That's going in my EDC carry bag. I feel like I have something that I can trust to boil water, and that's why I bought it. Okay, thank you.